I didn't know about Patched. I was in the waiting room by the water filter and somebody came out and said, "Are you here for yourself?" And I said, "No, I'm waiting for my son who's being triaged." And very lovely young woman said, "Well, do you know about Patched?" And I said, "No, I don't."
Patch started in 1998 and it started because there was a gap in services. There were no services in Brighton and Hove for families and carers who were experiencing a relative substance use. So it was identified that in order to strengthen treatment services and to strengthen relationships, having a service for families in their own right was required. So we introduced in 1998 a very small self-help group, and that was the beginning of Patched in Brighton.
What struck me was how helpful she was. She said, "If you work, we can come to your workplace in your lunch hour. If you need a home visit, we can come. If you want someone to phone you, we will phone you." And I said, "I'd like someone to phone." And Alison phoned me that afternoon.
Coming into a support group can take months before they make that step into a support group setting. So one-to-one support may be the first step to encourage them into a support group setting and to be with other people.
Alison, my counsellor, was not interested in going back to the past. It was very much about the here and now. What's happening now with you? How are you managing this week? Actually speaking to someone who was saying, "You're not on your own. We know what you're going through. We know that you feel isolated. We know you're exhausted, and we can help. And we can help in a number of ways. You can have one-to-one counselling. You can come to a group. We have all kinds of literature. We can explain what is happening to your loved one as well." The last support group I went to, somebody said at the end, "There's so much love in this room." I mean, when we say support, what do we mean? We mean you're in a room with people who understand and they care about you. They're willing things to be better for you, and they know how hard it is, and they are there to sit with you. You know, if you are apprehensive and you can't talk about it, that's fine, but there will be people in the room who are sitting with you in your suffering. In the period before I went to Patched, before I had counselling with Patched, I was gradually withdrawing from my social life. I didn't want to go to any social occasions where I would have to be introduced to people I didn't know. I didn't want those kinds of conversations like, you know, do you have children? Because very quickly you feel that you might have to reveal something. "Oh, how old are your children?" "Oh, 23. University?" "No, not university." His life was chaotic. My life was chaotic. I tried to help by doing a detox at home with him, you know, with herbal tea and soup and all of that kind of care, and it worked for a while, and quite quickly he was back on the heroin. He went downhill very quickly, lost job, lost a flat, and we could see that he was in very deep, and we could see that he needed help. And it wasn't until the bank holiday 5 years ago that he came in a really dreadful state. He was dirty, he was distraught, he was distressed, he was clearly in withdrawal, and said he needed help. And his actual words were, I am a junkie.
We have had substance users that have been concerned about their families coming in, concerned that their family might reject them, walk away from them. They might be concerned about the information we will be discussing. Once the substance user is aware of how Patched works, they are more open to that kind of support in their family.
One of the things I've noticed in groups over the years is that there are a number of taboos, things that people find difficult to talk about. One in particular is that many people have bought drugs and alcohol for their loved ones at times of crisis and feel deeply ashamed of this. You do feel that you have let your child down. That feeling of shame and guilt is quite powerful. One of the things I learned at Patched was that by saying yes, you may feel you're keeping them alive, but you're helping to keep them in a situation which enables them to carry on using. And I had to learn to say no. I overcame the feelings of shame and guilt very quickly when I approached Patched, when they approached me. Those feelings were with me right up until the first group meeting that I went to, and it was in that first group meeting that it kind of fell away from me.
We're not there to tell anybody what to do, and we're certainly not there to tell families to walk away from somebody that they care for. If a family make a decision, that's their decision. But it's about restoring relationships, restoring that broken communication, and to strengthen the substance user and the whole family recovery.
Small improvements with me, you know, I've started reading again. I'm seeing my friend, I'm going for walks again. Lots of things that I'd closed off became a focus. So my everyday life and what I was doing became something to be celebrated. Actually, I came out of that room every time feeling better, even though sometimes we were struggling with very difficult ideas about the future.